While you watch this video, the global arms industry will generate roughly $15,000 a second. War is a tragedy for humanity, but for a hidden network of defense contractors, it is the most lucrative business model on Earth. Who is really profiting from the chaos? Welcome to the $2.2 trillion machine. That is the staggering annual value of the global arms industry. To put that into perspective, it is a shadow economy larger than the gross domestic product of most nations, operating with almost zero public oversight. At the very top of this food chain sit the Big Five: Lockheed Martin, Boeing, Raytheon, BAE Systems, and Northrop Grumman. These titans do not just supply the battlefield, they define it. Consider Lockheed Martin alone. Last year, they pulled in an astronomical $67.571 billion in revenue. That breaks down to over $1 million every single hour, day and night, regardless of whether the world is at peace or at war. But how do you guarantee that kind of perpetual income? You need a reliable, bottomless customer. And there is no customer more reliable than the United States government, which directly funds roughly 70% of all major defense contracts. The taxpayers are unknowingly footing the bill for an endless assembly line of advanced weaponry. But the true mystery isn't just the sheer volume of money changing hands. It is the dark accounting that hides behind classified stamps. Where does all this money actually go? Because when you look closely at the ledgers, the numbers stop making sense and the shadows begin to lengthen. The economics of modern warfare are built on hyperinflationary pricing that defies all standard market logic. Take the F-35 Lightning II fighter jet. A single aircraft costs the public roughly $80 million, and the ammunition? Every time a pilot pulls the trigger to fire a modern precision missile, $1 to $3 million evaporates in a fraction of a second. But the grand illusion of the defense industry is that these exorbitant costs are strictly for cutting-edge, highly classified technology. The truth is far more sinister. Decades ago, military auditors uncovered the infamous $800 hammer and the $1,200 plastic toilet seat. The public was outraged, assuming these were isolated bureaucratic errors. They weren't. They were a feature, not a bug, of a system designed to quietly siphon wealth. By burying mundane, everyday expenses under layers of impenetrable defense budgets, contractors legally extract billions in pure profit. But the real danger isn't just corporate price gouging. It is the terrifying reality of what happens when the demand for these weapons starts to dip. If peace breaks out, the trillion-dollar machine starves. So, what do the architects of war do when the world threatens to become peaceful? The answer is as dark as it is profitable. You manufacture the demand. History is littered with brutal conflicts that were artificially prolonged solely to clear out aging weapons inventories and justify new defense spending. Wars are no longer fought simply to be won. They are fought to be sustained. The longer a conflict grinds on, the more munitions are consumed, and the more lucrative replacement contracts are signed. It is a perfect, perpetual cycle of consumption. But the most chilling secret of the global arms trade is the practice of arming both sides of the exact same conflict. Through complex webs of shell companies, third-party brokers, and black market intermediaries, weapons manufactured in the exact same facility often end up pointing at each other across the battlefield. This ensures that no matter who wins the war, the defense contractor never loses. It is a rigged casino where the house always wins, paid for in human lives and shattered cities. But to keep this bloody casino running smoothly, the industry needs friends in high places. They need the very people tasked with regulating them to be on their payroll. And that brings us to the most corrupt mechanism in modern politics. Welcome to the Revolving Door. It is an open secret in the halls of power that the line between the military and the defense industry does not exist. 4-star generals and top Pentagon officials routinely retire, only to immediately take lucrative seats on the boards of the very companies they just granted billions of dollars in contracts to. I watched commanders approve unnecessary missile systems, knowing they had a corner office waiting for them at the manufacturer. This blatant conflict of interest guarantees that defense budgets are never reduced. In fact, The budgets are often written by the lobbyists themselves. We literally handed them the drafted legislation. They just stamped their names on it and passed it through committee. These lobbyists spend hundreds of millions of dollars a year whining and dining lawmakers, ensuring that military spending remains the untouchable holy grail of the national budget. When a politician tries to cut defense spending, the industry threatens to close factories in that politician's home district, weaponizing local jobs to force compliance. It's legal extortion. Vote against the war machine, and we will bankrupt your constituents. The system is entirely insulated from democratic oversight. The taxpayers fund the military funds the contractors, and the contractors fund the politicians. It is a closed loop of endless profit, and the only byproduct is global instability. But what happens when the music finally stops? What happens to millions of guns, drones, and explosives when a war actually ends? The answer is a terrifying reality that threatens us all. When a conflict officially concludes, the weapons do not simply disappear. Bringing heavy artillery, armored vehicles, and millions of small arms back home is incredibly expensive and logistically complex. So, more often than not, they are simply left behind. This creates a massive, unregulated vacuum. Almost immediately, these leftover arsenals flood the global black market. High-tech military gear, originally funded by innocent taxpayers, falls directly into the hands of warlords, drug cartels, and violent insurgent groups. The very weapons manufactured to protect a nation end up destabilizing entire continents. We saw it in the deserts of the Middle East, and we are seeing it again in modern conflicts today. Lethal drones, anti-tank missiles, and night vision goggles are quietly sold to the highest bidder on the dark web. The defense contractors bear absolutely no legal responsibility for this deadly secondary market. In fact, it secretly benefits them. When rogue factions acquire advanced weaponry, it creates a brand new global threat. And how do governments respond to a new, heavily armed threat? They panic, they sign new defense contracts, and they buy even more weapons. The dark economics of the arms industry rely entirely on this perpetual motion machine of fear and firepower. The trillion-dollar war machine is hiding in plain sight, quietly feeding on global instability and human conflict. But what happens when a group of rogue insiders finally decides to expose the classified blueprints of the industry's ultimate, most secretive weapon? The real truth is buried deep underground, and they will kill to protect it. Watch Part 2.